Xbox might be heading towards one of the biggest shakeups in its 25-year history, and at the same time, Microsoft is reportedly speeding up development on the new Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Halo games. It's kind of been some wild news over the last few days. Today, we're going to break down a report claiming that the Xbox leadership is accelerating development on its biggest franchises, while Microsoft is considering a reconstruction or even a spin-off of the entire Xbox division. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Most of all this news now has come out since the Xbox showcase a few weeks ago didn't really give us any more info about one of the major titles players have been waiting for forever, and that is, of course, the new Elder Scrolls game. But at the same time, the new Xbox CEO is wanting to speed up development of not only the Elder Scrolls game, Fallout games, and of course a new Halo game. Those are three of the biggest games now, of course, that Microsoft can push out. And as we all know, we've been waiting on a new Elder Scrolls game since it was first announced in 2018. The last Fallout did not do that well. And the same can be said for Halo. And these are three really big titles, and long periods between releases for these games really kind of just hurts the player base in general. As I talked about in a video a few days ago talking about the Elder Scrolls 6, the longer people have to wait, the longer a lot of people just don't care anymore. There's too many games made nowadays for people to really just hold on to one title coming out. There's a lot of other great things that you can play, and sometimes this leads to a game being in development for a really long time. And by the time it comes out, players are just not interested in that game, kind of as it stands at that point. At the same time, Microsoft is reportedly evaluating some major structural changes in the gaming business. They're talking about maybe turning Xbox into a similar type business of how LinkedIn and GitHub operate. That doesn't mean Xbox is going to be sold, but it does mean Microsoft is actively exploring some different options. And a lot of people have talked about this for a really long time, even with games like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Halo, considering the other things that Microsoft does in the world to make money for just anything dealing with computers in general or software in general. Is the gaming division going to make them enough money with the failures of the Xbox One, the Series S, the Series X, and now a lot of people in the gaming community being upset that these games aren't being pushed out quick enough? The report did state that Microsoft has not ruled out turning Xbox into its own kind of standalone thing, operating Xbox as a joint venture with partners, or in a more kind of crazy scenario, potentially selling the entire division. Of course, nothing is going to be settled on in the near future, I don't think. But the fact that the conversations are happening and all of this is coming out after some blowback from the community and just in general from the Xbox game showcase, it kind of shows you the different directions that Xbox is going and what Microsoft is thinking. But if Xbox is ever sold or spun off entirely, that would kind of fundamentally reshape the gaming industry. And according to the report, Microsoft's goals right now is simple: to make Xbox more successful. And of course, that's a great thing for everyone as long as it's still affordable, because if it's more successful, the console and of course the games they make are going to be more successful. And they said as part of that strategy, they're going to double down on the franchises that define that brand, and of course, those being things like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Halo. The things that are kind of interesting to me that were mentioned in this and are a bit vague almost is the report doesn't say whether Microsoft is fast tracking the Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, or new Halo projects, or even spin-offs or remasters of things like Fallout 3. The odd thing is they're saying they want these processes sped up, but no one knows if they're wanting the processes sped up on the things they're currently working on. They don't really give a lot of info. So they're saying one thing, and a lot of people are kind of wondering, does this mean for the Elder Scroll 6? Will we see that game in a year's time, 2 years' time, or do they mean for future projects? Bethesda has talked about these games for years now without giving any release windows. So even with acceleration, we're probably still likely years away, I would think, from any new entries into these franchises or the games that they're working on. But the fact that Microsoft is pushing harder suggests that they want the franchises active, visible, and gaining momentum and not really losing the player base, which is definitely a possibility considering how long it takes to make some of these titles now. All in all, I think this is an interesting report now that all this info, like I said, is coming out after the Xbox Games Showcase. Xbox wants its biggest franchises moving faster, and Microsoft on the other end wants just to perform better. And with all the changes going on at Microsoft, all the rumors of the next, of course, Xbox being more of a PC than an Xbox, there's a lot going on here, and it's going to be very interesting to see how all this is handled going forward, how this affects things like Fallout, Halo, and I think one of the more important games that a lot of people were really excited about at one point, The Elder Scrolls 6. And unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people in the gaming community, just gamers like myself that love to play different types of games, are not really excited about these titles as much as they used to be because, like I said, there's so many other great games that come out now. Having to wait on some games for years and years just kind of puts you off on even playing them when they do finally drop. Let me know what you think. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.